Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey there, I am R.D. Smith, back with you once more this week, this great Sunday morning with At the Kitchen Table. Boy, we have had an eventful week, rather. Um, well, it started out with the ruling about the Second Amendment gun carry laws in New York, Supreme Court in favor of the plaintiff there. Um, they got that ruling in, and then just recently we have a ruling concerning Roe v. Wade. Well, we knew something was coming. There was a leak a few months ago about the opinions of the Supreme Court in regards to this matter, and it has been officially delivered this week. And boy, listen, I'm sure if you guys have been looking at the news or whatever, reading on the internet, man, there is an uproar. Okay. But I want to assure those people that are advocates for abortion that listen, in your liberal states, those of you mostly that vote in that type of genre, that area rather, liberal states, more liberal, democratic, if you will, you're gonna have the ability to have abortions as much as you want in those states. Don't be alarmed. You'll be able to have that as much as you want. The difference is it's not a federal issue anymore. It is a state issue. Some of you guys are thinking that the Supreme Court has come across and has said, "Hey, we're outlawing abortion." I'm just sorry, you're ill-informed, you're misinformed, you're ignorant to what actually has happened. What has happened is they put the issue of abortion back in the hands of the state. Okay, so with that being said, you all that are proponents of abortion, you want a woman's right to abort their children at any time, from inception to whatever, the day after pill or at the moment of birth. You're going to have that in your liberal states. Do not worry. States like California, do not worry. Illinois, do not worry. New York, do not worry. Minnesota, you guys are fine. You're going to be able to take care of those things. Don't worry. It's okay. Settle down. It's all right. You're going to be able to do that. For those that are in the conservative states and tend to be more pro-life, we are the states like Florida and Texas and, states like that. We're going to generally have the issue of people fighting for, the right to have their abortion. Here in Florida, I believe we're passing a law or have passed a law. The first 15 weeks you can have an abortion, but after that you cannot. So that's there. Abortion is not banned. It's just back at the states. Now, some of you guys might say, "Oh man, that's horrible. It should be a federal thing." Well, the problem is it's federally funded, okay? And we know about Planned Parenthood. I did a Margaret Sanger thing. I'm not going to get into all that today. If you want to, go back in my playlist or my videos and you can see that one for yourself and get more information on who she was. But Planned Parenthood, what that says for us conservatives, if we don't have to pay for your abortions anymore through taxes. Now, again, in your liberal states, you have state taxes like Illinois, like New York, like California, and you're going to be able to put your money towards those things, but it's not going to be federally funded any longer according to this ruling. All right. Now you say, how is that, Mr. R.D. Smith? Well, I'll show you here on the screen. The 10th Amendment says this, and I want you guys to look at this. Just give me a moment as I pull this up, and I'll take you to that screen. And it says, here, let me see if you can see that. It says Amendment 10, which was ratified in 1971 or 1791, I'm sorry. It says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or the people. Okay, so with that being said, this is constitutional. Some people are saying, oh, this is not constitutional. This is wrong. They shouldn't be able to do this, that. Well, no, it is constitutional. If there is nothing in the constitutional talking about the right to abort of a baby, or what we would call in the pregnancy, then that issue goes to the states respectively or the people. Because of that, it gets more power to the states. Now, understand, the people that wrote the Constitution, quote unquote, the forefathers, back in those days, they wanted to have children. Women wanted to have children. It was important to have a lineage. It was important to bring up children, important to populate society with families. And that was a thing that women wanted to do in those days. So there was no thought, I believe, in their minds that we would be talking about aborting children. I'm sure they would be like, what are you talking about? We need our children. But modern women of today's society want the right to I don't want to say that word, to abort their children. Okay, scratch that. I don't want to say the other word. They want the ability to abort their children. Well, they say it like this in so many words, that they have the right to do things with their body. We shouldn't tell women, men, mainly feminist women would say men should not be able to tell women what to do with their bodies. Well, let me share something with you. Men have never wanted to tell women what to do with their bodies. Okay, that's not something that men are raised to do. We don't want to tell you what to do with your bodies. However, a child growing in your body is not your body. It's just the child is just not your body. It's a baby. He's not your body. You can do anything you want to your body before you procreate with another person, a man, to make that baby. That once that baby is made through sex, sperm comes, to fertilize the eggs. Everybody knows that, and you have a baby, okay, and you procreate. That is no longer your baby. No longer your body. That is a human being, and women for some reason thinks that that baby is them. Well, he's not, because we can prove that. I'm not my mother. Thank God my mother did not choose to abort me. Matter of fact, my mother, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, had trouble carrying children. She had trouble carrying me. I believe she was 9 months bedridden because she had trouble carrying children. So I'm pretty much her miracle baby. So she did not want me to be aborted. Thank God, amen. And then if I was gone, then I wouldn't have children. There's a whole line of things, and my daughters wouldn't be here. But women, listen closely. We don't want to control you. Do what you want to with your body. Take responsibility not to get pregnant. There's so many things out there that you can do to not get pregnant. Okay, so that's one thing that I want you guys to see. Matter of fact, let's go to a scripture real quick, and I'm going to take you to Proverbs that prove to you through the scriptures, those that believe in the scriptures. Hopefully, you do. But if you don't, oh well. But here we go. In Psalms, let's see, Psalms 139. Let's start at verse 1. Psalms 139, verse 1. And when I get it going up here, I will pull it up on the screen. Once I get it, just give me a second. Give me a second here. Sorry about the delay. Had a little glitch there. Okay, here we go. I'll put you to the screen. So Psalms 139, verse 1. Psalms 139, verse 1 says this. Hope you can see that. There you go. Okay, Psalms 139, verse 1 says, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me." Okay. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Look at verse 4. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in behind and before. Okay, look at this. This is awesome. You hem me in behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain it. Now, let's scoot down, or scroll down, if you will, to verse 13. Look at what the psalmist says here. For you formed my inner parts. You knitted me together where? In my mother's womb. So here you see David is saying, the psalmist, that you knitted me together, knitted me separate from my mother, where? In my mother's womb. The womb was designed to hold a human being, which is separate from the woman. Okay, that's part of this right here. Let's go back and I'll show you the rest. And I'll look at we'll read 13 again so you can see it. For you formed my inner parts. You knitted me together where? In my mother's womb. Verse 14, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. Verse 15, my frame was not hidden from you when I was being made where? In secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Verse 16, and we'll stop here for this one. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. Okay, see that? Your eyes saw my unformed substance. That is the fetal side of birth, conception. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. Okay, so even David knew that he was separate. This is many years ago, thousands of years ago. Knew that he was separate from his mother. He was not his mother's body. So ladies out there, your argument about being your body is false. Even biology says it. Scientists know. Look at science. That is not your body. You are twined together or joined together with an umbilical cord, which feeds the baby. You all should know this. Feeds the baby from your body. So what you eat goes into the body of the child. That is how the baby grows and gets nourished. And hopefully in 9 months, 40 weeks, you're able to birth that baby, and you have a baby that comes out and now is separate from you, is not dependent upon you for food anymore from your body, but is dependent upon us as the parents, male and female, man and woman, to nourish that child. Okay, that's part of that. Okay, now why the question that I have is, why are people so upset about this? Well, it's about money. Okay, it's about money. It has nothing to do with abortion. I'll prove that to you. Let's look at something that I found about Planned Parenthood. And this is from the Wikipedia. I found this, and I'll put this on the screen so you can see that as well. Let's go over here. And you'll see here, I hope you can see that, because that is really small. But let me see if I can scroll in as much as I can. Just bear with me. So this is funding for Planned Parenthood. So watch this. Look at this. It says Planned Parenthood has received federal funding since 1970, which is Roe v. Wade, when President Richard Nixon signed into law the Family Planning Service and Population Research Act, amending the Public Health Service Act. Title 10 of that law, all right, provides funding for family planning services, including contraception and family planning information. The law had support from both Republicans and Democrats. Nixon described the Title 10 funding as based on the premise that no American woman should be denied access to family planning assistance because of her economic condition. Now, you guys look, just look at that there, just one moment. So originally, according to Nixon, the way he signed it was for family planning, contraceptive, things of that nature, birth, when you're pregnant, getting help with your pregnancy, things of that nature. To him, I guess it had nothing to do with abortion, but we know the founder of Planned Parenthood, which is Margaret Sanger, it had everything to do with that because she wanted to get rid of black children. Okay. And you can go back and look at that. I proved that back in my other video. So you can go back. If you think I'm wrong, go look at that if you want to, or research on your own self. Okay. If you're ignorant to anything in this society, at this time in history, it's on purpose because you can find anything out today. All right. So let's go back. Let me show you some other things here. Wrong screen. No, look, let's go back over here. There we go. Okay, so it says, look at this part here. The second paragraph says donors to Planned Parenthood have included the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Buffett Foundation, Warren Buffett, the Ford Foundation, Turner Foundation, the Colemans, and others. It says here, watch this, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation contributes to the organization have been specifically marked to avoid funding abortions. Okay, some donors, such as the Buffett Foundation, Warren Buffett, who we all know is a liberal, have supported reproductive health that can include abortion services. And anti-abortion groups have advocated the boycott of donors to Planned Parenthood, corporate donors, including Credo Mobility. Okay, so that's some of the things I just wanted to pull out real quick, is that it has to do with money, because you have private donations and then you have federal funding. Now, only a third of funding coming from Planned Parenthood comes from donors, but the rest of it comes from taxes, from federal taxes, income tax, and that's part of it. And even the Gates were like, look, we want to help out in these areas, but we don't want anything to do with abortion. Well, that's well and good, but we all know once you give your money to any organization, it is in their power to take any of that money to fund whatever. Now, unfortunately, the people that have been affected most by this abortion thing has been the Black community. Okay, we don't want to talk about it. Most of the Planned Parenthood, I believe, is about 70. I talked about it before in my other video, but about 75% of all Planned Parenthood facilities are in predominantly Black communities. Okay, and there's a reason for that. I mean, come on. So that's just how it is. But we're going to look at something else. I want to show you some statistics here about that, and I think this is good for us to look at. And I'm working on the screen, so forgive me for looking around a lot, but I have to give you a lot of information. I'm going to take you back to the screen, and we're going to pull up some statistics that I got here from blackdemographics.com. And I will scroll in for you here. Let's see. Let's get that right. And this comes from down here, population group abortion rates and lifetime incidence of abortion, United States 2008 to 2014, December 2017. This is from the U.S. Census Bureau 2017 American Community Survey, so on and so forth, okay? And they pulled this together to show. So at the top here, it says, do African American women have the most abortions? And I'm going to give you all the information. So hopefully you can see this. It says white women have the most abortions of any race or ethnicity or ethnic group, but black women have overrepresented, making up 27.6% of all abortions, while abortions, while only comprising 14.9% of all women in the nation, giving them the highest abortion rate in the United States. Okay, what does that mean? Well, basically that means that black women have more, even though black women are about 7% of the population, have more abortions per capita than any other race in this country, meaning 27.6% of black women are making up those that have the abortions, which is higher than any other race. Now, that's only 6% of the population, 6 to 7% of the population. Well, white women make up about, I would say about 30 to 40% or more of the population, probably more around 50% of the population. So you see there that the disparity, and that's why, because there is access to this procedure. In the white community, there's not a lot of Planned Parenthood. White community is not able to get federal funding for these procedures, so they have to pay out of their own pocket. Okay, where in the black community, because of economic situations, you qualify for this federal funding, you're able to get these services. Okay, so this is one of the things I wanted to pull out, and it's money. Guys, they are, and unfortunately, and it's sad, but it's reality. In social media, I was looking, on particularly Facebook. Some black women are up in arms, blaming, justice, the justices, the black justices, the men justices, male justices, saying that they're here they go again, because they're conservative, and it's amazing, and then they're mad. These and some of these people are relatives of mine, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know we were raised that way. I thought we were raised in the church, believing in the sanctity of life, but I guess they missed that sermon. But that's what I've been seeing. I'm like, wow, I didn't know you believed like that. But I thought, that maybe, black people were just ignorant to what they were voting for with, the Democrats. But apparently not. They know exactly what they're voting for. They want that, and that alarms me, because I guess they figure they want high taxes and high gas prices too. I thought you just didn't know. So I was out here thinking if I informed you that it would, if you were informed, you would make a better decision. But I guess that's not true. You want that. Okay, so I'm just going to expose you. I'm not going to try to inform you anymore. I'm just going to expose it. So I thought I was doing it justice. I was wrong. I was severely wrong. I feel horrible about that. I was wrong. I thought you wanted to learn, but apparently not. This is what you want. I mean, I've been mistaken. But anyway, this is what we're dealing with, in the black community. Now, segueing into that, I was like, okay, well, how did this happen? What do we do to fix that? And I found out there's a article in the Atlantic, and I'm gonna see if I can pull that up for you. It's a black publication, and it's talking about the It's talking about basically the voting practices or voting block of black men and black women. And I found this article, and I'm going to pull that up for you real quick and let you see that as well. As you can tell, I did a lot of research in this because I didn't want to come in here and just spill off, flying off at the mouth about stuff. And us preachers, sometimes we can do that, but that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to inform those that wanted the information and have some way of countering the other mantra that goes on in our society. So if I'm gonna pull you back over to the screen real quick so you can know what I'm doing. And you'll see this Atlantic. This is a black publication, I believe. And it talks about black issues. It's November 21st, 2020. And it says here, let me scroll that in a little bit more so you can see, it says, since the years following the New Deal, when the majority of black voters left the Republican Party, black men and women have turned out in spectacular numbers for Democrats in presidential elections. No other racial group has been as consistent for the Dems. This year's contest, which was in 2020, talking about with Trump, was no different. Roughly 90% of this block cast ballots for old President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, in the words of the activist and Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice, I think that's her name, Colors. Black people won this election. All right. So even Black Lives Matter leader, the lady that took all that money and built a mansion off of black people's money, she says that, hey, you know what? You black people, you won the election. You're the reason we have high gas prices. You're the reason we have high inflation. You're the reason we have all these things going on. You can't get feminine products. You can't get baby formula. You can't get certain foods, because you just can't get it. This is because of you. All right, that's what she said. You won the election. All right, and some of you are Black Lives Matter proponents, and go ahead, do your thing. All right, but let's finish up on that one here. And the next part says, this is where I really wanted to get to, and just bear with me. I'm trying to get this on the screen so you can see it, because sometimes you're looking on your phone and it may be kind of small. It says, but in the past 4 years, numerous black Republican figures, as well as a handful of black celebrities, have endorsed President Donald Trump or expressed a willingness to work with his administration. Now, this is in 2020, when gas prices were low and things were better. Is that almost all of these endorsements have come from men, okay? Reflecting on reflecting an on the ground truth. Watch this. 12%, according to the Atlantic here, 12% of black men voted for Trump in the 2020 presidential election, while just 6% of black women did the same according to the AP VoteCast survey. Look at this. Considering that the Democrats' dependence on black voters is only growing with each election, the party can't afford to ignore the diversity of the opinion that exists within this bloc, particularly between black women, or between women and men. And I put in there black women and black men. There is a divide. We've talked about this in past broadcasts that I have, the divide between black and women, especially on my men's broadcast or things that I put on, Facebook. We have a divide between black men and black women, fighting each other, the manosphere, the red pill, where men are rising up and not taking that garbage anymore that a lot of black women have spewed over the years, that we're no good in this. But it just doesn't stem from that, ladies and gentlemen. It stems from even our voting. 12% of black men voted for Trump, only 6% of black women. So that shows you even more that we're divided. But black men, we're rising up and like, man, we're not gonna take that. We see what's going on. This is crazy. But, unfortunately, our black women aren't following suit. They're not following us. They're following somebody else, and we just don't know. So this is what's going on, and I just wanted to. I'm taking time out, and this is probably going to be a lot longer video than my normal videos, but I wanted to take time out to share with you guys what really is going on. And listen, again, all you liberals out there, you liberal Christians that want abortions on any time that you can get them, move to your liberal states. Get your high taxes, get your state taxes, your high gas, get that $8 a gallon gas out there in California, and you can have all the abortions you want. Get that $7 gas up in New York and $6 gas in Chicago, and have all the abortions that you want. You don't have to come to the conservative states like Florida and Texas. You don't have to come here. This is a free country. Move there, man, and get it all you want. Don't be angry. Don't get mad at us because we don't want that in this state. Just go to your liberal state. You can move anywhere you want. Get a U-Haul, take your stuff, get a job, man. They got plenty of jobs. Do they have plenty of jobs up there? I don't think. I think their unemployment rate is really high among black people there. But I'm sure you can find something in your field. Just work hard. You can make that happen. But don't get mad with us because we got low unemployment and we don't want that here. Don't get mad at us. Just go there. This is a free country. Okay. All right. I got a few more scriptures and I'll be done with this. Okay. Go to let's see where we want to go. We were at Psalms. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 29. I'm gonna take you to Proverbs chapter 29, and I'm gonna end with a couple of scriptures, and I'm gonna wish you an adieu and a great rest of your weekend and a great rest of your Sunday. Okay, so we're gonna go to Proverbs chapter 29. Let's start at verse 1. Proverbs chapter 29, and we're going to go to verse 1. And I will put that on the screen for you once again so that you could see that and read along with me. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 1 says this: "He who is often reproved, yet stiffens his neck, will suddenly be broken beyond healing." Look at this, verse 2. "When the righteous increase, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people groan." And boy, there's been a lot of groaning. This has been a lot of groaning. This is what's happening. And just this is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, black people, like the leader of Black Lives Matter said, you won the election. You did it. You did it. You did it. Good for you. All right, one more verse. Oh, God help us. One more verse in Isaiah chapter 5. Isaiah chapter 5. And I'm going to end here today. And like I said, wishing to do and have a great Sunday after this. Okay, I'm going to take you back to the screen. Isaiah chapter 5. We're going to start in verse 18. Give me one moment to scroll that up so you can read along with me. Here, verse 18, and here we go. I'm going to take you back to the screen. And it says here in verse 18 of Isaiah chapter 5, "Woe to those who draw iniquity with cords of falsehood, who draw sin as with cart ropes." Look at verse 19. "Who say, let him be quick, let him speed his work, that we may see it." Watch this. "Let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw near, and let it come that we may know it." Now look at verse 20. It says, "Woe to those," now watch this, "woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." Look at verse 21. "Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and shrewd in their own sight. Woe to those who are heroes at drinking wine and valiant men in mixing strong drink." Verse 23. who acquit the guilty for a bribe and deprive the innocent of his right. Look at verse 24. Therefore, as the tongue of fire devours the stubble, and as dry grass sinks down in the flame, so their root will be as rottenness, and their blossom go up like dust. For they have rejected the law of the Lord of hosts, and have despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. All right, you see that? Woe unto them that call good evil and evil good. Okay, and there's a lot of that going on in our administration. They say it's good to have high gas prices. It's good to have rampant inflation because the electric vehicle is out there, even though it costs $85,000 on average. And I'm just exaggerating, but it costs a lot more than most of us can afford. But this is what they say. This is what we voted for. This is it, you guys. We should be happy. Shouldn't be moaning and groaning, right? Let's look at Isaiah chapter 10, and I'm going to end here. Isaiah chapter 10, and we're going to start at verse 1, and I'll pull you back on the screen one more time. It says, look at this. Let's see. It says, woe to those who decree iniquitous decrees, and the writers who keep writing oppression. Okay, you there? To turn aside the needy from justice, and to rob the poor of my people of their right, that widows may be their spoil, and that they make the fatherless their prey. What will you do what will you do on the day of punishment, and the ruin that will come from afar? To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your wealth? Nothing remains but to crouch among the prisoners or fall among the slain. For all his anger has not turned away, and his hand is still stretched out, or is stretched out still. Okay, well, what more can I say? I am way over time, but I have warned you of that earlier. But listen, I'm happy that it went back to the states. That gives people a choice to move or stay. If it's a federal deal, that means we all have to pay for it. If it's a state issue, we can leave. We can go to another state where we want that thing. If we want high gas prices, we can go to that state. If we want state taxes, we can go to that state. If we want abortions, we can go to that state. If we don't want that, we can leave that state and go to where there are low taxes, low abortions, okay? We can go where there's high employment. But if we don't want that, we can go there. That's the beauty of the United States of America, the greatest country on the face of the planet, because of the freedom that we have. And guess what? You have the freedom whether to watch this or not. That's how good it is. It doesn't come from the government. The government's not backing it up. The government can't even take it away. So I'm glad about that. Well, I am done with this for today. I hope you that agree with this enjoyed it. Those that did not agree with it, what can I say? God bless you anyway. I'll see you again next week.